In this African folktale, a village is blessed with a singing tree. A young girl's pride makes her use a gift meant for many to shine alone. When the song is taken, she is forced to face loss, truth, and humility. Once upon a time, long before the Harmattan winds learned the names of villages, there stood a dry settlement beneath an ancient baobab tree. Its trunk was so wide that 5 grown men holding hands could not circle it, and its roots pushed through the red earth like the fingers of an old giant refusing to let go. The elders said the baobab had watched kings rise and fall, and that it remembered every truth ever spoken beneath its shade. In that village lived 2 friends who could not have been more different. Kofi was quiet, careful, and slow to anger. He traded yams in the market and always counted twice before selling once. When others laughed, he listened. When others spent, he saved. The elders trusted him with their goods, and mothers trusted him with their children's messages, for Kofi's word was as straight as a well-cut path. Amma, on the other hand, was fire and music. She wove cloth so beautiful that people stopped walking just to stare. She loved bright colors, loud praise, and the sound of her own name spoken with admiration. Where Kofi planned for tomorrow, Amma lived for today. Yet, despite their differences, they shared food, secrets, and dreams beneath the baobab's shade. One hot afternoon, as the sun pressed down like a heavy hand, the market buzzed louder than usual. Traders argued, goats bleated, and dust hung thick in the air. It was there, between a calabash seller and a palm wine stand, that Kofi's foot struck something hard. He bent down and picked up a cracked gourd, old and brown, with strange markings etched into its skin. "What useless thing is that?" Amma laughed, brushing dust from her wrapper. Before Kofi could answer, a woman nearby shouted, "I sold nothing today." At that moment, the gourd hummed softly, like a distant drum. The market fell silent. Another man muttered, "This heat will kill us all." The gourd remained still. Amma's smile faded. She leaned closer. "Say something true," she whispered. Kofi cleared his throat. "I planned to help my neighbor fix his roof, but I was too tired." The gourd vibrated gently, humming like a satisfied child. Fear crawled through the market. People stepped back. "A truth gourd," an elder whispered. "Those have not been seen since the old days." No one claimed it. No one dared touch it again. By sunset, Kofi and Amma carried the gourd away, its soft hum following them like a secret. That night, as they sat beneath the baobab, a stranger appeared. He came without footsteps, dressed in dusty robes, his back bent, but his eyes sharp as moonlight. No one saw him arrive, yet everyone felt his presence. "You found something that listens," the old man said calmly. Kofi and Amma exchanged glances. The traveler reached into his bag and brought out 2 baobab seeds, smooth and dark. "Plant these," he said, placing one in each of their palms. "But hear me well. The seed answers the heart that plants it." Amma laughed nervously. "What does that mean?" The traveler smiled, already turning away. "You will learn." Before dawn, he was gone. Kofi planted his seed carefully behind his hut, clearing stones and watering the soil. Amma planted hers quickly, laughing as she pressed the earth with her heel. By morning, the village screamed. Where there had been bare ground, 2 trees stood. Behind Kofi's hut grew a small baobab with glowing leaves. At its base lay 3 jewel-like fruits, shining softly like captured starlight. Behind Amma's hut towered a taller, hollow tree. As night fell, it began to sing. A deep, beautiful song that wrapped around the village like warm cloth. People gathered. Children danced. Travelers stopped and listened with wide eyes. Amma stood tall, smiling as her name spread with the song. Kofi watched quietly. Above them, the ancient baobab creaked softly in the wind. And somewhere deep in its roots, something listened. The singing tree did not keep its gift a secret for long. By the 3rd night, its voice had learned the paths of the wind. It floated beyond the village walls, crossed farmlands and streams, and returned with strangers in its wake. Traders delayed their journeys just to hear it. Hunters sat on the ground like children. Even the moon seemed to pause above Amma's hut whenever the tree began to sing. And wherever the song went, Amma's name followed. People praised her beauty, her luck, her spirit. Coins clinked into her hands. Cloth and beads were gifted freely. Amma laughed more loudly now, walked with her chin higher, and wrapped herself in colors brighter than sunrise. "This is what life should be," she told Kofi one evening, dancing as the tree sang behind her. "Why save for tomorrow when today is singing your name?" Kofi smiled, but said nothing. Behind his hut, the smaller baobab glowed quietly. Each dawn, it dropped a few jewel fruits at its roots. Kofi sold them carefully, never more than one at a time. With the money, he repaired the well, bought grain for widows, and fixed broken stalls in the market. When rain leaked through an elder's roof, Kofi paid for new thatch without asking for praise. Slowly, the village leaned toward him. When disputes arose, people sought Kofi's judgment. When shortages came, his storehouses opened. Yet when evening fell, the crowd still gathered around Amma's singing tree, clapping and cheering as if the song itself were blessing enough. Amma noticed. At first, she laughed it off. But as days passed, something sharp settled in her chest. Each night, she boasted louder, telling travelers how fortune had chosen her, how the spirits favored her above all others. The tree sang louder too, but its voice began to change. It grew deeper, heavier, as if strained. Leaves dulled. The bark cracked. No one noticed. No one except Kofi. "Amma," he said gently one night. "The song is strong, but the tree is tired." Amma waved him away. "You worry too much, friend. Listen. Have you ever heard such music?" The crowd roared in agreement. Among them stood Obara, a bitter man whose farms had failed and whose tongue dripped envy. He watched Amma's joy with narrowed eyes. Beside him lingered a stranger in fine robes, a showman smiling too often, listening too closely. That night, as the village slept, shadows moved. At dawn, Amma woke to silence. No song, no hum, no whisper of magic. She rushed outside and screamed. The singing tree was gone. In its place lay a hacked stump and scattered leaves. The earth was scarred, the roots torn violently free. Amma fell to her knees, clawing at the soil. Villagers gathered, murmuring. "Perhaps the spirits have taken back their gift," someone said. Obara looked away. Amma ran to the baobab square, clutching the truth gourd. "Someone stole my tree," she cried. Kofi stepped forward. "Speak truth," he said softly. Amma's voice shook. "I love the praise more than the gift." The gourd cracked. A sharp sound split the air, and the gourd broke in two. Gasps filled the square. As whispers turned to blame, Amma felt the village pull away from her. The song was gone, and so were the cheers. Silence is heavier than noise. In the days after the singing tree vanished, the village felt smaller, colder, as though something sacred had been carried away with the night. Where laughter once rose at dusk, whispers now crawled. Children stopped dancing in the square. Travelers passed through without stopping, disappointed and suspicious. And at the center of that silence stood Amma. People who once crowded her doorway now crossed the road to avoid her. Some shook their heads. Others laughed openly. "So where is your miracle now?" they mocked. Amma tried to stand tall, but pride is weak when it has nothing to lean on. Each night she sat alone behind her hut, staring at the torn earth where the tree once stood. Sleep refused to come. When it did, it brought dreams of a voice trapped and crying in the dark. On the third night, Amma went to Kofi. She did not arrive dancing. She did not speak loudly. She stood at his doorway like a child waiting for judgment. "Kofi," she said, her voice low, "I was wrong." Kofi looked at her for a long moment. Then he stepped aside and let her in. She knelt on the floor. "I love the praise more than the blessing. Now the village has lost its song because of me." Kofi sighed. "A stolen voice weakens more than one heart. We must bring it back." Word reached them by morning. A trader swore he had seen a showman in the distant market town, displaying a glowing glass jar that sang at night. People paid to listen. They cheered. They clapped. Amma felt the shame burn again. "He has trapped the song. We will free it," Kofi said. They did not go alone. The elders came, leaning on their staffs. Children followed, humming the memory of the melody. Even those who had mocked Amma joined, for the village itself had been wounded. The market town was loud and bright, filled with drums, dyes, and deception. At its center stood the showman, smiling as he raised a glass jar that shimmered with trapped light. When night fell, he opened it. The song poured out. Beautiful, aching, familiar. Amma's knees weakened. Kofi nodded to the elders. They moved like shadows. The elders challenged the showman to trade riddles and rituals, drawing a crowd. The children began to sing softly, mimicking the melody of the baobab. The air vibrated. The jar shook. The showman frowned. Amma stepped forward, heart pounding. She raised her voice. Not to boast, but to confess. I wanted to be praised more than to be worthy. I used a gift meant for many to shine alone. The jar cracked. A sharp sound echoed, louder than the market drums. The showman stumbled back as the glass shattered, releasing a flood of light and song that rushed into the sky like a freed spirit. The crowd gasped. The song was free. But it did not return immediately. Amma fell to her knees, tears streaking her face. Please, she whispered. I understand now. The wind shifted. Far away, in the village beneath the ancient baobab, a small shoot pushed through the earth. The song was finding its way home. They returned to the village at dawn. The air felt different, lighter, as though the land itself had been holding its breath and had finally exhaled. Before anyone spoke, the children ran ahead, shouting. Where the torn earth had once been, a young baobab stood. It was smaller than before, humbler in height, its leaves pale and new, and yet it sang. Not loudly, not proudly. Its song was gentle, like a mother's voice calling a child home. The villagers gathered in silence. No one clapped. No one shouted Amma's name. And for the first time, Amma did not crave it. She stepped forward, her head bowed. This tree will not sing for pride, Kofi said softly. It will answer the heart that tends it. Amma swallowed and knelt before the people. I forgot that blessings are not mirrors, she said. They are bridges. I broke mine. No one spoke. Then an elder placed a hand on her shoulder. Repair it, he said. Amma did. She rose before dawn each day to water the tree. She stopped hosting feasts and instead began to weave again. This time not for praise, but with purpose. As the tree sang softly in the evenings, she wove a great cloth in the village square. Its patterns telling the story of the stolen song, the broken gourd, and the lesson learned. Travelers returned, drawn not by noise but by meaning. The cloth was sold, and with its price, a school was built. Widows were fed. Children learned beneath the baobab. Kofi taught numbers and planning. Amma taught art and humility. One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon, the ancient traveler returned. He stood beneath the great baobab and smiled. Magic fades, he said. Character remains. Then he was gone. The young baobab continued to sing, softly, truthfully. And the village never forgot. Moral: a blessing kept for one will vanish. A blessing shared will sing forever. What did you get to learn from this story? Kindly drop your thoughts and questions below. Do well to hit the subscribe button to see more emotional and exciting stories like this on Afrotales by Siri.